Hello, today I'd like to talk about this Teksun, Teksun, AN-48x active loop antenna, LW, MW, and SW. This is a shortwave indoor antenna that I picked up on Amazon. I think there's other brands that have this same type of antenna. It does have an amplifier, and it's like a loop antenna that a square loop antenna that you can put in your window. It comes with some suction cups and hangers for hanging it up and things like that. And it also has a amplifier and tuner. So we'll take a look at that in an unboxing right now. So this comes with a little telescopic aerial antenna. It has let's take this out because I think it's going to be all connected. There we go. So here is the loop part, which would have, you can select your modes for long wave, short wave, medium wave and long wave, short wave, medium wave and long wave. So this thing here is the power source. Now it uses two AAA batteries. Not crazy about that. I wish there was like a USB, maybe even like a USB amplifier thing just to power off it so it's not going to drain batteries. Because I know I'm going to forget. I know I'm going to forget this on at some point, and it will drain the battery. So it's manual and stuff. So here's some of the things I like about this unit. There's a whole whack of things that it comes with. It comes with alligator clips so that you can plug it, clip it to your, if you have an aerial like this, you can clip it to that. So it has some suction cups so you can put the antenna loop part up in the window. Whatever this is, I'll look it up in the manual. So here's the alligator clip. You can connect it to your antenna. Some antennas have this type of connection, so it's an adapter for that. And also if you have a BNC connected antenna, it has this adapter from, typically you have like this headphone jack type plug-in. My radio, which is a Grunding, just like one of these radios, a lot of the radios just have like a little external antenna plug-in on it. That's kind of what I was hoping that this antenna will do. So these are some of the accessories and adapters. Some kind of a clip, because it's going to be mounted somewhere. So I'll put this over here. So it has more wire to run to the magnetic loop. There's that part. And there's this, whatever this is. Maybe it's a place to put all the extra batteries you'll need for this. No, it's something else. I'll figure that out. Now is where I look at the manual to figure out how to put this together. Okay guys, so the antenna comes with a whole whack of wire, so it will form a loop like this, and I can see the shot. One part of the antenna is this part here, which would form the loop. And on the bottom it has a switch to switch between shortwave, medium wave, and long wave. It has this little telescopic antenna type of thing to separate the wire, to spread it apart to create the magnetic loop effect. So there's just this part here that extracts, and you just hang your antenna like that and kind of make a square loop. You can hang that in your window or on a wall, even, as long as there's not metal around the wall. Try to keep it away from metal. I think that's what happens with me in my house, because the aluminum siding and steel roof, satellite dishes everywhere. Find a good location to put this. So first thing I gotta do is hang it with a suction cup. This window, I don't think it's meant for all windows, but hey, we'll give it a try with this window anyway. Not the greatest loop in the world, but this is my window, so I'm just giving it a try. So you have all this extra wire here, which you're going to plug in to that part. This is not ideally, I'm just testing it out for its first run here. Probably want to put it upstairs. This is in the basement. My house also has a metal roof, which I find interferes with antenna reception. Just let that drop down. So I'll plug this device here into it. I put the batteries in there, the two AAA batteries. When you do power it on, you'll see a little LED light indicate that it is on. Right. So we got the AM, I got it set to AM right now, and I'm finding that it's working quite well with AM radio. I got it connected to my SDR setup. I got a mess of wires and my SDR radio stuff over there. So here, and I got the wire running down there to the antenna. Alright, so this is not the best setup, but I'm just doing it to test it out with my, where I use my software defined radio. So here we go, we got, I set it to medium wave for MW, which is medium wave for AM. If I go to SW on AM, it won't come in as well. So you hit that switch, you probably hear the radio kind of cut out a little bit. Go to medium wave, and you go to shortwave. Just depends on the band that you're in. This is basically, it's like an antenna tuner, tuning the magnetic loop to whatever, which is a good feature. It's kind of thing I have. I know people are going to tell me, hey, you can build one of these, but I like to just have it so I can just buy it and not have to figure all that. And I think there's a lot of people who want to listen to shortwave, and they don't want to know how to build antennas. They just want to be able to listen to shortwave and AM radio. And I'll show you like a little bit more of my setup. So this thing here is, this connector here is running to the antenna. I have this part here, which normally would plug into your radio, if you have a radio that has one of these antenna input plugs. But because I'm plugging it into my converter here, my up converter, so I gotta go through quite a few adapters here. I have the plug, I have one of these headphone jack adapter plugs going to RG8 to an RG6 with a headphone connector. So I had to be able to find the right adapter. I have quite a few adapters running through here. And then I have that adapter. And then I have the RG6, or no, that's an RG8 male going to an RG6 male. And I have that going in my down converter, and there's my SDR device there. And the MLA loop antenna, which I don't have plugged in right now because I have the other loop antenna plugged in. So one thing I did discover with the Teksun is if you do power it down, I guess it's not going to work here, but if you do power it down, you get that line. See, the line's going away of reception. And then there's the signal that came back. Now it's what? 8 o'clock at night, so the sun's down. I'm able to pick up a few AM radio stations.
And I think everybody...
Probably be an echo if I did that. Anyway, I'm getting the stations in there, and I'm just going to turn the volume down. There's a station coming in pretty good there. The frequency tuning knob. So that's a good thing to have, especially if you're in an area where you're going to have a lot of interference, and you're able to fix that up a little bit. And usually at night I can see all this and listen to AM radio at night. I'm just going to bring the LNA down just so it doesn't look as loud. And going through all the AM radio stations here with it, and every 10, what is that, kilohertz? Every 10 kilohertz it's a new station, because on the AM band there's so much bands. Like every line here is basically a radio station I'm able to pick up. If it has that little red part there, I can probably hear an audible voice. I was able to adjust my antenna, the fine tune the settings, and actually I got on the SDR, I got my LNA gain really low because I'm using the gain off of the gain control off of the Teksun receiver, so I was able to pick up WWCR pretty decently here.
It's basically doomsday for the silver lining. With the audience as my co-host, we take an optimistic approach to all things considered. No confidence, hope, and humor, whenever possible.
So that's kind of a sample. Now, once again, I want to emphasize, I'm using this in my basement with a house with a metal roof and
aluminum siding. So I do have it in the window, so it's helping quite a lot with the reception. It just went away. See, and it's still not coming in. Like shortwave radio tends to come in, and you see that where it comes in really good, and then it drops and comes back. An improvement of what I've been using, just the telescopic antenna. I'm going to play around with this, and we'll see how well it works. I think it works well. I'm actually quite impressed on how well I was been able to receive AM radio here in my basement with this antenna. So I got it hanging up in my upstairs bedroom window. Got the little thing there. So that's kind of the idea of how you'd want to hang this antenna. And I just got the suction cup there. The telescopic antenna kind of spreads it out to make the loop effect. Well, it's a cube effect antenna. The headphone jack here, and I got it set for medium wave. Is it medium wave? Oh. I had it on medium wave. Now I'll probably hear something now. Right, so I got it plugged in here to my little Grunding radio. I've had this radio for about 20 years now. The plate's fallen off there. The buttons are all, it's well loved, this radio. Dropped it probably a few times. It took a licking. That's a good brand. I hear Brother Stair on the radio. So I could just tune the frequency here. So get that. So the end of the world's happening. So get yourself a shortwave radio and an antenna, Brother Stair says. So there's that 933. I'm on the shortwave 2 band. And I have some pre-select stations that I scanned in. There's Brother Stair again. So there it is on AM, medium wave. So I'll set it to medium wave. And sometimes I found with this device you do have to do a little bit of tuning. I don't even know if this thing's working. So I'm getting some AM radio stations. Yeah, it's not even really doing anything for the AM. So it does appear at times. I'm just going to say this just to show you here. That when you plug the antenna in, sometimes it doesn't make a difference. Sometimes it is overriding to the actual telescopic antenna on these radios, I find. So with my little shortwave radio, the one thing I like about this radio, it has a scanning feature, or a seek feature, where you can just press it and finds it. But it does find a lot of just white noise over on shortwave. And that's just a typical thing that happens with this radio anyway. So I've tuned frequency 749, which is scanning, and I found that frequency. So it's a little bit staticky. So at least with this, I can sort of tune the frequency a little bit. Down so it just doesn't get all that noise. Yeah, I break the noise when I touch the actual aerial on the radio. So one of the things too is you are going to have to adjust the frequency with this thing. When you power it off, you're going to get more static and not so much tuned audio. Like right now, Brother Stair is coming in really well now on 13.84. Brother Stair tends to be the one voice that I'll probably hear the loudest. It used to be Gene Scott, but now I hear Brother Stair a lot. I'm listening, Brother Stair. I am listening. I am listening with my Teksun antenna with the tuner tuned to your frequency, Brother Stair, at 1384.5. it's coming in better. This is not the best spot for an antenna, but it's working better than what it would. So, it's coming in so good. The antenna's really. Kind of cut out there. Sometimes you can plug it in without the power supply, but I think you're just using the actual wire as part of your antenna. So the one thing I did find is on my software-defined radio, with this thing powered on, I get or with it off, I get nothing. But even with it on, I was getting some signal. So if you're using an SDR and not getting anything, this might help with that. I was able to get a few shortwave signals. Definitely would want to put the antenna in a much better place than in my basement window. So for my main workhorse shortwave antenna, I use my MLA-80 antenna that I put out on my TV antenna tower. And this has worked a lot better there than it was working inside, or even lower, because that's up about 30 feet up there probably. There we go. So I've hung the antenna in my outdoor tent gazebo thingy, and we got the thing hanging here, right there. I got just shortwave. Now my house, it's aluminum siding, so definitely that affects shortwave. That's why I have the MLA-80 antenna out on my TV antenna. So I'm getting 1186. Unplug the thing, it just completely goes away. So I'm hearing a lot of that motor static. Yeah, that one's coming in good.
Her initiatives included alternative living solution, vegan companies, vegan fur products, Supreme Master Television, as well as writing and speaking to.
You're getting a little bit. That's coming in really good, like without the antenna. But you put the antenna in.
Participating in televised conferences on climate change.
There with the antenna in, it's you hear it a lot better. So I got it on AM radio 790 medium wave, but AM radio. That's turned down. So I'm not seeing any change when I unplug the antenna.
What the government may do to individuals, but what neighbors are doing to each other. How neighbors are.
But sometimes these radios, they'll use the external antenna for shortwave, but they won't use the external antennas for AM radio, because it doesn't seem on this radio it doesn't make any difference.
I was also able to tune this to my software-defined radio by connecting it to my up converter, and actually have something other than my MLA-80 antenna that would make my software-defined radio work. So that was a great plus, just to have something portable like this that I can set up and listen to a little bit of shortwave radio. It's not going to work the best because it's going to be an indoor antenna. But if you can run this wire out a window or something like that, you can increase the amount of signal that you can get. That would work well too. But for something like this, whoops. So something like this is something like this. I'm going to point with the aerial. So something like this would be good if you're indoors and you can't really put up an antenna. You want to hang it on a window, maybe even put it up in an attic or something like that. So if you didn't have if you don't have a metal roof, you put it up in your attic and run it down. Definitely not something I would keep outdoors. It's something I wouldn't say would be for outdoor use. This is more of an indoor antenna solution. And then for years I used to use a long wire that came with my shortwave radio to be able to pick up signals using that. But then sometimes the wire would be, some stations would work better with a wire and other stations would just work better with the telescopic antenna pointed in the right direction. So that's kind of a nice feature of this antenna. That's kind of why I got it. Is just be able to have it upstairs and have it either on a computer or plugged into my shortwave, my little shortwave radio to listen to radio at night. Because sometimes nothing puts you to sleep at night like a staticky radio with somebody talking about the end of the world on shortwave radio to go to sleep to.
Alright, thank you so much for watching my video. To find me on YouTube, you just simply type in... So to find me on YouTube, just simply type in Robbie Strike, S-T-R-I-K-E. And my smiling face should probably pop up there at my YouTube channel. When you come to my YouTube page, you can click on the video tab and see all of the videos I've created on satellite TV, shortwave radios, and software-defined radios, and all sorts of really cool, awesome technology. Yeah! Please also come to my website, robbiestrike.com, and follow me on Facebook. And be my friend. If you like this kind of technology stuff, let's hang out online and we'll do a chat room together and all sorts of cool, nerdy things like that. It'll be lots of fun. Hey, the rest of my videos.